Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Yeah, I know it's been a while. I dropped a tutorial build for you all, so it's time to break the drought. Due to that, there are new building tricks, some easier than others to follow. I'm trying my best to understand them well so I can explain them to you guys in a clear and precise manner for some of the building steps in the future. So I'm starting off small so I can get back into the flow of making tutorial videos. I have a bunch of early game builds that both old and new players can do and learn these tricks as more tutorial builds drop. So a build like this that people been asking about is on a higher complexity because of the layering I did to create snap points in some areas. If you are enjoying the video and want to continue seeing build tutorials like this, don't forget to leave a like to support the channel, and also if you want to support the channel further, you can check out my Patreon page below. So we're going to start on a very easy build, this starter workshop, which is a version of a 300 wood challenge build I did a while back. Here are the materials you need. Alright, so to do the layouts of the build, you're going to throw down a 1, 2, 3, 4 beams, or 2-meter beams. Then you're going to throw down a 1-meter beam at the end here. And then you're going to use that 1-meter beam and place a snapping point right here. It's going to connect. You're going to connect a beam right here, but we'll pick up from there later on. Now for right here, what you're going to do is that you're going to grab a 2-meter beam. You're just going to connect that. You're going to switch the snapping point for this beam here, set it to the edge. Edge 2 is fine. And you're just going to place this to make sure that it's in line with the beam here. It doesn't have to be perfect, so don't worry about that. And then you just connect that there. This is just for when you place in the walls, it doesn't protrude through the roof, because that doesn't look clean at all. Now once you have this in place, then we just go back over here. You're going to do the same thing. You're just going to snap this in, then switch the snapping point to the edge 2. Make sure that it's in line with it as best as possible. There, we just take this out, and we're just going to carry this over. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to carry this line over because we want the beam here to be the same height and not the middle part. So you just take this out once you're done. Then we're just going to, this is going to be 2, and then we're going to add 1 beam here, and then we're going to add 1, 2, 3. We add 2 at the back here, 1, 2, and then 1 right here. Once the layout is now set, so you're going to grab your 45-degree beam and just connect it at the end here. So it's going to be 2, and over here it's going to be 3. So 1, put the snap point to bottom, 2, 3. Make it easier for you to put it up there. The next, you're going to switch to a 26-degree beam, and then you're going to connect it at the top here and bring it all the way down to the other side. Should connect to the beam that you have placed here on the ground, this side here. So should have it looking like this so far. You're going to grab your thatch roof. You're just going to fill this spot right here. Now for here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So that is going to be it. You're going to put a 45-degree beam right there for the time being. You can just go ahead and fill this spot out. So on this side, you're going to place 26-degree roof going all the way up to the top here, and yeah, going all the way down here. So like that. Next, what you're going to do is grab a 1-meter beam. You're going to place one right there, and then you're going to place a 2-meter beam on top of that. You're going to then grab you can place a 26-degree beam right here just to make this part look clean. And then you're going to switch on over to an inverted 26-degree beam wall, and you're going to snap this going all the way up to this point here. Then you're going to get the regular 26-degree beam wall, and you're just going to place this on top and stop right here. Then at the top right here, you're just going to grab a 1-meter wall and just snap it right here. Now once you have that in place, you're going to grab your 1-meter beam. You're going to place one right here, and then you're going to grab your 26-degree beam and connect it to that 1-meter beam, going all the way up to here. Now we're gonna try to make sure that the beam is not showing through the roof here, which is doing that now. So we're just gonna try to clean this up as best as we can. So what we're gonna do is just take that out. Just going to use the X. We're just gonna use the X this time and just snap this in and just take out the X. So for the back here, you're gonna grab your 1 meter pole, place one right here, and a 2 meter pole on top. Switch to a 1 meter beam and place one right there. You're pretty much going to create your roof overhang. You're just going to connect the angle 26-degree beam right there and just go all the way up to the top like that. I'm going to try to mirror the side here on this, so pretty much doing the same thing what we did. So just going to place an X right here and snap a 26-degree beam over it. We then now going to fill out the roof. We're going to grab our 26-degree hatch roof. Just connect this here and basically just going all the way up. No, for this part here, now this is where I kind of find a bit annoying, where when you connect the roof piece right here, now it's kind of showing on the other side. It doesn't look clean. So thank God we have manual snapping points, and this is where we're going to make use of it. So we're going to set the snapping point to top. You can kind of pretty much eyeball it and make sure it's in line with the roof here. It's not shown once we snap that in, and then we can just easily snap the rest of the roof pieces in that way. Now it's snapping, it's showing on the other side here. So we're just going to switch the snapping point to this point and just kind of just line it up a bit. Just line it up a bit. Or we can just connect it all the way right there without any problem. It's just right here is when it's showing, it doesn't look that good. So we just can maybe just do that regular right here and just do the manual snapping point for this section. Alright, so we're just going to fill out the wall right here. So we're just going to snap it to the beam. Make sure that it's snapped to the beam on the ground here. As you can see, it's not snapped in. We're just going to make sure that it's snapped in. We set it to the manual snapping point. Then we're going to set it to the bottom here. Make sure that it's snapped to the angle walls, because it can snap to the roof and start showing through the roof here. So you're not seeing it that much. It's mostly in, so that's good. And then we can just fill this out. The top part here, you maybe see a little bit of it, but we can work with that. And then for this area here, just going to start off by placing a half wall going around like that. And for the back here, we're going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to use the X, 26-degree X. Use a half wall right here. And we're going to connect some poles right here, going all the way up to the roof. Not showing, everything looks good. For the middle here, we're just going to connect a beam pole looking like that. Then for right here, you're going to make this angle beam here in line with the pole on the right. So I'm just going to eyeball it. You can see that looks clean, and then just connect that piece and it kind of lines up with the other side right here. So on top of the roof here, so where we place some of the roof pieces here, it created a snapping point here I can make use of. So we're going to use that to our advantage. Let me just take that out. I just need a 26-degree beam inverted wall. We're just going to set that in properly. We're going to make a chimney. It's just for aesthetic purposes, no use whatsoever. But if it is that you want to add a use in the future, you can just definitely go ahead. I see space where you can manipulate the bill and make use of it in whichever way you want. But yeah, so just make that marking here and just kind of put these here. Now the thing to note here, just to make sure that this doesn't take any rain damage, so just use the angle walls. Snap this in. Snap one here. Snap one here, and snap one right here. And that would be it for the chimney. Now time for the fun part, the detailing work. Now you're gonna grab your 26-degree wall and you're just gonna snap one on this beam here and one on top, yeah, of that, and then you're gonna get your half wall and just slide that in at the bottom here. Now over here you're gonna switch to a 45-degree angle wall and snap it to the beam at the bottom, not the roof. Make sure it's not the roof. Make sure that is adjusted correctly. There we go. So make sure there's the double check. If it is showing through the roof, then it's not connected properly. Now once that is in place, you're going to switch to your 26-degree X. You're going to set the snapping point to top one, and what you're going to do is going to manually place it in. So you're going to aim at the wall here, just lower it down. The X should be, the top of the X should be a little bit lower than the crease here where the half wall and the angled wall meet. So it should have something looking like this, and just place one next to it like that, and then you're going to connect a beam. It's going to auto snap to the X here, so it slightly goes into the ground. So you just allow it to do that. Let's snap one right there, and then for right here we're just going to snap that. For the top here, I think the 1 meter beam should be enough. Won't be showing. Oh, it is showing. Me swap that out. We can just manually place this in if you want. Just make sure that it's clean, and then we just move on from there. There we go. It's not showing at the top, and it looks good right here. The next thing we're going to do is that we're going to do the same thing here. This one should be fine. Just a little bit fine. Let's see. It's showing a little bit. So we're just going to do the same thing by manually placing this in. Make sure that it's lined up properly. Like that. So once you have this in place, this is your doorway. You can get rid of this, and you're just going to grab your door and just going to throw that down right there. That's perfect. And then we just grab our 45-degree wall, and we're going to see if we can snap this on top and have it looking like that. Great. And we should be able to pass through without bumping our head. There we go. Let's grab the X again, and this time we're going to place another layer of it right here in front. Just kind of give it some depth. Now I would like to get this X to go in as far in as possible. So I took out that pole that was in the way and try to center this as best as I can. Place that in. That looks good. I can put the pole back in. That's fine. And then what we're going to do before I put the other X in, we're just going to clean this up a bit. I'm just going to add a pole here in the middle, and we're just going to add a 1 meter pole right on top. Make sure that the edge of the pole is facing you. I'm going to do the same thing over here. You only need one for this part, and then for over here we're just going to do the same thing. Then we're gonna grab that X so we can snap this in nice, and we're gonna send that right up to the top. For the top here, this one can't avoid it not shooting through the roof. So you would have to make some adjustments needed. So you're gonna aim at it at the top here, and just gonna throw in the X. I think the best snapping point was somewhere about let me see, around here probably. Let me just try it from the other side. Well, here, so you can see it's showing right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place another X here as a guide for just gonna replace this one. So I'm gonna set the snap point to center, gonna lower this down to maybe about here. Let's see. All right, so it's a little bit lower, but still showing. That's the best we can do. So we're just gonna take this one out, and then just kind of copy the one we have here. Just place this in. We can remove the front one, and we'll just work with that. Not happy with that, but it's the best we can do. Now once we have that in place, we're just going to grab our 26-degree beam here and just connect it. Just coming all the way down like that. And for right here, we're just going to add a bit of depth. We'll just attach it to the pole here, and we're just going to run that line all the way down like that. There we go. Now the next thing is optional. Now you can either use fences, either place one right here like this, and another one over here, like this. Now I don't like this because, as you can see, it doesn't have that ooh wow factor. So I suggest that you go get some fine wood. I know, and this time around it's way easier to get fine wood. If you just turn on fire hazard, you can pretty much shoot the fine wood trees with fire arrows and pretty much take them down. You can shoot the log, the full log of the fine wood tree, and it will break it in half. But from there, you would have to roll the logs into each other to break them, or hire a Frank from the Black Forest to do the job for you. Well, once you get your hands on fine wood, you can just grab your stool and just start placing these behind here. Just going to place about, bring it, just place it all the way across. Yeah, let's connect them. And stop about right here, and it'll just pretty much do the same thing. Just watch how you place it in the side by side. That. Just take your time and don't rush it. I know this can be frustrating for some people, especially for new players, but you have to be patient. Alright, so once you have these in place, just gonna grab a 26-degree beam, just kind of frame it out just to make it look cleaner, and just aim right at the top underneath the roof here, and you can see how much of it this kind of comes over the stool. You just bring this line, this beam all the way down. Let's grab a pole, and you can just pretty much just snap this right at the end here, pretty much getting that framed in. And let's do the same thing over here. And there you have it. Now, there you have it. You have a nice little lattice window. Way better than the fence, but the fence is just, yeah, if you don't have anything else to use. So once we have that done, then we're going to focus on the front here. So it's going to grab our 1 meter, 1x1 floor. And we're just going to center it to the beam. The pole here rather, and we're just going to snap one right here, and we're just going to turn this in, and then this side in as well. Then we're just going to add another layer right up top, one right here, in, and in. So at the top here, we're going to add a bit of detail. So we're just going to place a beam, 26-degree beam here. It doesn't have to be perfectly in line, just maybe just a tiny bit up. And we're just gonna switch on to our 1 meter beam. Let's set it to the edge, and we're just going to manually place this in. Make sure that's in line with the beam, the pole here. Pretty much, we're just gonna get that snapped in. Oh, right here. It should show a little underneath here, like that. I'm doing this so that you can get this little design showing. Also pushing half of it under the angle beam will protect it from the rain. And once that is in place, we pretty much have an idea. So we're just going to take that out. I'm going to snap this, snap all these here, and then switch to the 1 meter beam, set to the edge, and just snap these in like that. We'll just do the last one here just to make sure that it feels complete. There we go. We'll just take that out, and we'll just do the top. And there we go. And then we can pretty much carry this down here. That is it for the front. So the next roof line we're going to work on is this little area right here. So we're just going to juice this up a bit. So we're just going to manually place this 45-degree beam. Just kind of give it a little extra up the top here. Just kind of give it a nice little style, you know. And then we're just going to bring this all the way down into the ground here. So we have something looking like that. Now for this line, for this roof line here, what we're going to do is that we're going to grab this 26-degree beam, and we're just going to place one in front of the roof line here, and we're just going to grab our 1 meter pole, hold on shift, and snap that in. So we're going to use that to snap 26-degree beam Have it in like that. Switch back to the 1 meter beam. Snap this in, that, and we can do one right here. We can just take these out. So just kind of give the roof line there a nice little design. Also, when this goes right into the angle beam here, just like this one, it's pretty much protecting it from the rain. This should be good. This should be good. Then you can maybe just add 2 meter beams here, kind of clean this up a bit, and we have it looking nice so far. So the next thing we're going to work on is to add the smelter and the kiln. So right here, we're just going to break this backward here. We'll just take out these 2 roof pieces, maybe 3, just because it's very broad, the kiln, and we're just going to drop it right here. So we're just going to try to center it a bit. That's the good. We'll just make sure that the space is just right. All right, that looks a little bit decent. Maybe we can just break this and bring this over. Just break it and bring it over just a bit. So right here. Be fine. And then we'll just put the roof pieces back in. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do now, this is just me being picky because I don't like how it looks underneath here. So I'm just going to grab a 26-degree beam, and I'm just going to manually place one just about like go right there, and just kind of cover that little gap there. We're just going to use an X to kind of fix this one up. So let's grab the 26-degree X, snap it right at the end, switch back to the 26-degree beam, snap that in, take out the X, and it's all good. The next thing we're supposed to add is the smelter. So we're just going to we'll just take these 2 out here, screw pieces. We'll take this one out, and we take this one out for the time being. We'll just grab our smelter, and we're just going to set it in nicely in there, tucked in nicely there. You can see, good. This is perfect. And then we're just going to add the roof pieces back in. And for right here, we'll just add just the beam below and the half wall, which should be good. Now what should happen, you should be able to access your smelter from the inside. So make sure that you make the proper adjustments so that the smelter is not too far from you accessing it. The inlets on the inside of the workshop. Finally, the back. Now I have a bad reputation of not finishing up the back, so let me just show you what you can do with the back part. So what we're gonna do is just gonna add, I like to add depth to the base of the build. It really pops it out a lot. So I like to start off with like placing like a 1 meter beam here. I'm just gonna using the beam here that is already here as a marker. Just place this one here, place one right there, and place another here. I'm just gonna try to wrap this around. This manual place this one in, just kind of give a little bit of an extension right here so I can wrap this around nicely like this. Switch to 1 meter beam, and we can slide this in holding on the shift key, and switch to 2 meter, and we pretty much yeah, we can just do that. Now we could maybe end it here, but you know, we can add more. Why not? We'll just set the snapping point to edge, and this is why I love the manual snapping points, because now you can just add a little bit more, and a little bit more doesn't hurt. So we're just going to kind of place this in, give it a little bit of an extension so we can carry that around. Just wrap this here like that. Good. I think we don't need to switch to, so yeah, we can manually place this in, just eyeball it just a bit, about right there is good. Snap that in. There we go. You can see how it pops out a lot when we did the base here. Now for right here, because it's so flat, this is optional. It's up to you if you really want to do it. But what you can do is just grab a beam, turn the edge, rotate the pole so that the edge is facing you, and just kind of use the creases of the walls here to kind of make things line up. So we'll just place one right there, and one can be one can be right here. Just send that up. And then I think the final one would be corner here. So mine will place that one in. Put a 1 meter at the top. And we'll just have something looking like that. That is it. Hope you enjoyed building this workshop and learned something new. Thanks to my patrons and YouTube members for keeping the channel going, and thank you for watching. And remember to always aspire to inspire. Peace.